Dude, gaming in 2018 sucks.
But yeah, the good news is that, like, it hasn't been, like, a super negative. Like, we personally go through just as many copies just the next day. I feel like everyone else is kind of in the same boat where they're just like, I don't really want to do, I'm older now, I got kids, all the stuff I mentioned before, I don't really feel like doing yet.
There's always, like, one or two people that are, like, sort of upset about it, but it's
yeah,
like
the
vast majority of
we
them.
had one cancel for Black Ops 4 today because we didn't release it at 8 last night, but it's like, dude, I'm not...
Hello?
I think you're missing one right there, yeah. Like, I'm not gonna drive in specifically to, like, you know, whatever. It's like, I didn't have permission to do it at 8 anyway, so, like, it's a moot point, but... Yeah, looking back on some of the midnight releases we did, it's, like, hilarious to me, because this year... Technically, we would have done Red Dead 2 and Smash.
Very good.
Let's just pretend we would do Red Dead 2, right? So that's 2 out of all games coming out. That's 2 games. Whereas back then, here's a couple titles that we did midnight releases for. You ready for this?
Arkham City.
Batman Arkham Origins. Final Fantasy 13-2. Resident Evil, Operation Raccoon City.
You did a midnight?
Yeah, it wasn't, like, super crazy, but people picked it up. It wasn't... None of these, like, not a single one of these was, like, nobody picked it up. Like, it wasn't, like... You know, Call of Duty had, like, 80 people waiting, but, like... All these we did had at least a couple people. And, like I said, nowadays, like... Especially with CIB being more popular, like, and, like, busier, like... I'm at the store more than I ever used to be, so that extra 4 hours, like, even though it's only once in a while, is, like, quite a bit. So, no, NTY, no thank you.
Oh my god.
I tried. Speaking of that, I was reading Sig Lemmick's, profile, his Twitch profile nowadays, because he's still on there, like, I guess he does StarCraft. I think I mentioned this before.
Actually, he does type,
He does
something.
Type Racer.
Yeah.
And,
that's all he does.
Dude, I don't know.
That's amazing. That's a broken man.
And that's like every...
He has to be.
I don't watch it, but I was just looking at past broadcasts. He does it almost every single day.
Are you serious? Wow. I like reading his FAQ, and the very last thing is Super Mario 64 ? NTY. No, thank you. But yeah, some of the dude, we had a midnight release for Uncharted 2 and 3. I don't even think we had a midnight release for Uncharted 4 when it came out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing. So there's one last thing. Trev, you can stop me at any time if you want me to, like, go to other topics. But, like, the one other thing that really affects it is, like... So nowadays with, like, patches for games, like day one patches, and games rather being not finished, right? The fact that you can patch them is a huge thing. People don't pre-order. And in a way, I wish they did because it'd be easier for us, but in a way, I don't blame them at all.
Yeah.
So it's like, back in the day, like, Modern Warfare 3 came out, and that was it. They didn't really patch too much back. Even though internet was there, they weren't like, oh, there's a day one 2 gig patch. For the most part, it was what it was, right?
Yeah.
So nowadays, people are like, yeah, nah, I'll wait till they do all the patches and blah, blah, blah. So not only am I not doing a midnight release, but I'm not picking it up for, like, a week, just because, like... Insert company has, like, messed with me before, you know?
Yeah, they finish the game, like, and they say, okay, this is a game. And then they've got that gold master, they're like, okay, we can print this, we can put this on a disc. And then, like, okay, they've hit a deadline, but, like,
I assume
still clearly a lot of
Dude,
bugs.
they don't even
patch.
put the gold master on the disc anymore. I mean, Black Ops 4 literally does not have the gold master.
So
on it.
I assume that nowadays it's about probably, because it takes a while to print all these copies. I would say it's probably 4 to 6 weeks before the game comes out, where they have to, like, finalize it before they're like, okay, we're going to press. And in that 4 to 6 weeks, they're like, "Oh, that's fine. We can just get the patch ready in the meantime." And it's like, that's not how you should be doing this.
I also messed up Rose a little bit. The guy that I lit up the candles that he was holding. I forgot that it's a he disappears after they like stop.
So yeah, I've argued, and Trevor can attest to this. I've argued for like years that like midnight releases are archaic. Nobody should do it anymore. It should be an 8 p.m. release. And it's like it started, but also for a small store like us, it's like I can't like. I can't afford to get in trouble with these publishers to be like, we'll just release it at 8. It's like, oh, because like every year we have to sign a very specific like deal with Activision through our distributor that's like, you can't sell the game early, you can't do anything early, blah, blah, blah. And it's not like, oh, well, you can sell COD at 8. It's like, no, it says like midnight on the day of release. And it's like, well, I can't afford for Activision to be like, hey, don't do that. We're not sending you games anymore. And then it's like, oh, well... Yikes.
Yeah, that's really cool, and it's just another one of those ways that, like, you just get punished by the big retailers. Because they can do that, and you can't.
Corporatism is really cool.
Dude, I've tried over and over again. I call our distributor, and I'm like, can you talk to said company and see whatever? And they'll be like, so we have preliminary rights for you to do it for this specific game by this particular publisher. And I'll be like... Okay, so is that all Activision ones? It's like, no, like, if we did it for COD, that wouldn't mean that you could do it for Spyro, because they're both Activision, and it's like, okay, so, like, not only do I have to worry about these games getting here on time, but I have to be like, can you check with Activision to see if we can sell this at 8? And it's like, oh, no. No. That 4 hours is the world of difference, sorry. The patch isn't ready yet.
No, it's the 4 hours that GameStop gets.
Yep.
That's their GameStop exclusive.
Yeah. Hey, check the GameStop exclusive, 8 p.m. But, like, literally
That
anyone who
sucks.
got the game last night at 8, like, how long on good internet does it take? Trev, how long would it take to download 65 gigs, like, at your place? Because you got good internet.
Okay, what if let's say 100 megabit 100 per second.
100 megabytes a second? Is that a thing?
That's-
megabits.
That's very.
What's
good.
a megabit?
Megabit is like
1/8 of a megabyte.
yeah, it's like 8 or 10 megabytes.
So
a
it takes
second.
about 8 seconds.
Hold
or
up, boys.
so.
We got this. So you're saying it takes 8 seconds for a megabyte?
For 100.
No.
I'm sorry.
At a meg-
right.
at a megabit,
Yeah, that would
yeah.
actually be very bad.
Uh,
But is that like unattainably good around here, or is that just like standard
that's
around here?
like the high end around here.
So let's say 16 seconds per 100, or is that like
that would be 50,
also crazy?
and I think that. I mean, most people are just
16
gonna get,
seconds for 100 megabytes? Like that's crazy.
That's still.
Just
What
say,
is this?
I mean, this is higher than average, but just say 5 megabytes a second.
5 megabytes per second.
So 75. I'm sorry. What was it? How many gigs was
I
it
wasn't
again?
listening.
65.
It was Mario 3. It was Mario 3.
I wasn't listening.
So
at all.
65 times 1,000 is how many megabytes it is, right? So 65,000.
Yeah.
And then you said it is.
5 per second. And that's like.
So that's 13,000 seconds.
Also, you have to remember that a gigabyte is actually 1,024 megabytes.
Yeah, we're rounding.
Okay.
So
We're
13
using hard drive space
13,000
logic.
seconds is 216 minutes, which is like 3.5 hours. So that's 3.5 hours on pretty decent internet around here, right? Sorry, for those of you who don't live in Lancaster County, PA, we don't have the greatest internet, and it just kind of
We
is
have
what
like
it is.
Windstream and Blue Ridge. Windstream is the literal.
We're getting
worst.
Comcast soon, though, and I'm so excited to switch over.
No.
So even if you have the 100 that
Go
you're
back
talking
in.
about, 3.5 hours is still like 2 hours, right? So if you got home right at like say 9 p.m. after picking it up, say there's the time it takes to walk in and drive and whatever, you're still not playing to 11 if you have amazing internet. So I guess my major point is a lot of people who picked it up at 8 p.m. last night were not playing till like 1 in the morning.
Yeah. And a lot of people have like literally like 1 megabyte a second.
So, and that's obviously assuming that you're like Trevor and Jacob have like amazing internet, or like at least for around here. Like myself, I can't. Oh, and that's also assuming the PlayStation servers allow you, because Parker's told me before that like he can download stuff like on like the computer here a lot faster than it like allows it on like the PSN. So PSN sometimes is just like, no, it doesn't matter what internet you have. So.
Oh, that was so lucky.
Also, can I point out that the ghost in this room is actually me?
Actually, you, yeah. Also, this is another ghost I really just don't understand how it works. So you light these candles, and it makes the waiters come.
Yo, Ben, do you like me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So, here we're getting a download of 72 megabits per second.
Okay.
And that is 9 megabytes per second.
You mean right here?
Right
You check my
here.
internet
Come
here?
on!
Yeah.
So...
I know your Wi-Fi password,
So...
dude.
So that would... I don't care. So that would be in between what we talked about. So it's still probably 3 hours. Again, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, if PSN is good.
Let's see. 1024 times 65.
Aren't you supposed to be able to... Oh, I see.
Yeah, this boss is really weird. I mean, it looks like I'm sucking up the food, but it sometimes just takes forever, like right now. And, yeah, I mean, the waiters are definitely dead, so there we go. And then this next section I don't really understand either, because he shoots fireballs, but it's for, like, an unnecessarily long amount of time. He's probably gonna shoot, like, probably, like, 15 times.
Also, the fireballs are pretty slow. Like...
Okay, here it would actually be
They get a
2 hours
faster.
and 3 minutes.
And that, again, I'm telling you right now that I've downloaded stuff off PSN, and it's not 9 megabytes a second.
Yeah, this is...
I'm telling you right now, it's not.
This is... I was just using, like, a speed test, which, you know...
Trust me.
It's
Trust
not
me.
going... It's trying to be as accurate as possible.
100% when I say that, like, I've done the speed test before, and then went to look at my PSN and was like, boy, this is downloading slow, huh? So TLDR, a 65 gig for a game is why. And also, why did you suck me up? Also, how did I fit inside that vacuum?
This vacuum is cool.
You are a ghost and you don't have any mass.
Are you gonna get all 50?
Yes.
Yes.
Because you really need, you need 40 or 45 to complete the game.
Oh.
And then once you get 50, it gives you a diamond that gets you 20 million, like, points.
And you said you have to have 100 million?
100 million.
Ah, nice.
There's two, it's a gold diamond, and there's 2 gold diamonds in this game. And that's one of them.
So I fully understand that, like, there's certain games where, like, if you're talking speedrunning, running 100% is a lot different than any percent. Like, I get it. But I will always prefer, if possible, a 100% run over an 80% run. Like, 100% of Luigi's Mansion, I'd watch. 80%? I mean, 80% they probably break the game in 10 minutes. I mean, I don't super know, but...
Well, that's fun in itself. Well, I guess the 100% runs are, like, more...
Oh, give me that
like,
part.
long... rewatchable, because, like, there's a lot more that can go wrong. It's a lot more sustained, like...
Excellence.
Skill, but, like, any percent runs definitely have fewer tricks that are, like... maybe require, like, a higher degree of precision, but, like, once again, like, there's not as many of them.
Dude, the best example of that, it's not even close, is Ocarina of Time. The 80% is, like, 20 minutes?
I'm pretty sure that the 80% for this game is also, like, less than 10 because they just do a glitch where they go through, like,
That's
a wall.
right.
It's like, that's... Like,
That's so cool.
seeing the 80% Ocarina of Time once is definitely worth it. You're like, oh, that's the wrong warp, crazy. But, like... after you watch it once, like, are you gonna watch somebody literally stream, like, 80% attempts? It's like, dang, I got a second behind, restart. It's like, oh my god. Like, ZFG with his 100% once, sometimes he'll get, like, 30, 45 seconds behind, and he's still like, now we can make it up on block, because it's, you know, it's a 4-hour run.
Yeah.
Also, it's the best run. Like, I love Resident Evil 3 if it's done exactly right, and I love some other ones, but you can't go 1 minute in the Ocarina of Time 100% run and not be like, what just happened? Like, you can't. It's not possible. Or, like, even if you're like, what am I looking for? Like, you're like, oh, he's in the fire temple. Like, he's in the fire temple, like, very early on. And then it's like, we'll come back at the very end of the game. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah,
I am extremely happy that I've been one-cycling every ghost.
Yeah,
Ain't no LP, son, it's a speedrun.
So, this was pretty close. I was, like, pretty close to dying, but, this is the easiest boss by a lot, so, I'm really not. And plus, there's a heart right here. That is a big one.
Oh, nice.
Ocarina of Time
Is there
100%
easier
so
ways
good.
to, like, get, like, hearts?
In Hidden Mansion mode, I forgot to mention this, but there's less hearts, too.
Ah. Can you explain for the viewers the thing you're doing where you're like I can tell based on the clicks of the controller that you're doing like a certain strat, especially for the booze. It seems like you're like
okay. So I'll explain this. I was planning to explain it, but I didn't know how to do it. So when you're sucking, when you push L, the L button is your secondary weapon or just exhaust. So when you do inhale and then unclick R real quick and then push L, it'll make you do this kind of motion, and this is definitely a speedrun strat. It kind of keeps the booze in place to a certain extent. Basically, after 150 HP, they'll just leave anyway. And yes. Oh, cool.
Oh, do some of them have like...
Some of them have like 300 HP.
Dang. What hit you?
The stupid fire thing, and now I'm concerned.
Oh. I just remembered something. I wanted to bring back Cowboy Bebop, and I left it on my...
Did you watch that?
So me and Liz watched the first 2 episodes.
And then it was like, I hate it.
It wasn't that...
How many episodes is it?
It's
like
only
20.
like 26. So, like, we were wondering, like, okay, this is basically the one that everyone says this is, like, the best jumping off point for, like, if you're gonna watch, like, anime. And, like, while we got it, like, I don't know, I guess it just didn't grip us.
Alright, one cycle.
Ugh.
Is it possible to?
Yes, I actually did it.
I just did it in the practice room earlier. Nice, is that the boss?
Yep.
So you're not gonna die?
Yep. And that's the end of the second section. What time do we have? Oh, I can probably do that.
What other games are we doing besides CT3?
We're doing a CT3, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
So
As
I'll
long
do
as you
this. I'll do this for another half hour, and then
Good with me.
Alternatively, once again,
honestly, if
I've got a load of StarCraft on me.
yeah. Like I said, we'll probably do that next week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, there's
if
no
I
scary
have
parts,
if
so-
I have that much time in CT3, I might be able to finish next week then. Like within reason, like
Alright.
within like a half hour or so. Obviously with Clock Tower games, it depends on how much the random enemies show up, am I right? Dude, what is the possibility, like, if I just, like, for a future GDQ, like, being a completely unknown runner, just literally, like, send in a game like Clock Tower, and I'm just like,
Well,
here you go.
You have to have enough presence on like Twitch and like the community to be like known. Like they definitely don't like pick runners because they're like super popular, although that probably does factor into it a little bit. But if you're just like a guy and you're like, I'll do Clock Tower 3, you're never gonna be accepted.
I wonder what the least amount of, like, followers, like, that, like, someone's played before, you know?
I'm gonna say you're gonna have to at least need like 1,000 followers. I know there's definitely been runners I've watched that like when you go to their Twitch page, it's like, oh, not that many followers. But
I wonder if there's like a way to check that historically, because obviously if you're at a GDQ, you're gonna get a
That's true, like
bump no
what it
matter
would be
what.
before.
So
yeah.
explaining one minor thing that I never knew about, when you one cycle a ghost, you get a gold border on the portrait.
Huh.
And if you do like a 2 cycle, I think it's a silver. And then the boss, I don't know if it has a portrait, because it looks bronze to me, but I definitely 2 cycled it. But
It looks just brown to me. Money.
so yeah, I already have 20 million, and that doesn't count for the 40 million that I need. So I think we'll make it, bros. There's the next 2 sections are the biggest by a lot.
Not a very long game,
No.
but like
I mean, the
it's
100% speed run's like an hour 10 minutes.
this is definitely a game that like you would want to play multiple times, like no problem. So like, and also like to be fair, like the first time you go through it, you're just gonna be searching around a lot. It's like Resident Evil. You can beat Resident Evil 1 on PC in like 40 minutes, but like first time through is like 10 hours.
I think Nintendo gets a lot of praise, some of it unwarranted, some warranted, but definitely one of the warranted ones is that they're the kings of making short and sweet games that have like infinite replayability.
Metroid Prime's not too long too, I don't think.
Yeah,
Maybe should we do Metroid Prime?
I was thinking about it.
Isn't there a lot of fluff in that game, or no?
There's
like for an LP?
a point when you need to get 7 keys to unlock the final area.
That is kind of annoying.
It's literally just going and to like backtrack.
I mean, I suppose you could do that off screen, like if it's like not anything major.
Well, no, because like you
I
do
actually
have to.
I practiced it for a while, and I was like trying to figure out how to do it in like a way that made sense, and I couldn't figure it out. So, but that was years ago. That's when I did Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion, which I don't even know if Ben was around for.
I don't know. I don't think I would mind playing Prime. I just don't have like a GameCube right now. Or Prime.
Ah, too bad you don't know anyone who would have that.
Yeah.
Get it? Because you could borrow it from the store.
I was just
or
gonna,
me.
I was gonna go to Nicholas, who probably has our frickin' copy.
Wait, Mr. Marketable Skills himself?
Why is that?
So
why is that the thing that became a meme? It's not even like an outlandish statement.
It was just funny. Like, I forget what we were trolling. I'm sorry, I have marketable skills. It's good.
Yeah.
Like he could have said it in a different way and it wouldn't have been as funny. But like, it's a very specifically funny way of saying it. Like,
Maybe
I'm sorry I have useful skills. Like, I would never say it again. But marketable skills is funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
I
Is he
don't know.
never?
Maybe,
Is he
maybe
never
it's
coming?
just because like we think similarly, or I guess we're brothers. Maybe that makes sense.
Is
but,
he never
like,
coming again? Is that not happening? Is it over?
I don't know. I asked him when would be a good time for me to come up, but I didn't ask him if.
I figure since he just moved, there's all that nonsense involved.
Yeah.
So
He's been like.
He's also a single father.
Yeah. Just going into the.
With a job that requires marketable skills.
Yeah, that's true. He's an architect.
is being a single father a marketable skill?
Some would consider it marketable. You're marketing the child. You're saying, look at how cute this kid is.
Bros.
Be
Look
my
at how-
waifu.
Look at how.
Mario!
Oh, what the hell?
There it is.
Guys, this is the year of Luigi. I'm calling it. The year of... Oh, wait, he's dead. Never mind. Hey, we went this whole time without making that meme.
Well,
Do you have to come down here?
Yes. Because it spawns... Wow, the frame rate. Holy crap.
Jeez.
So it spawns that guy, and then you get a key to move
Yeah,
on.
so much for the dolphin, right?
And each key is for one door only, right? Okay.
The dolphin GPU.
Now, once you get to the second floor, it kind of opens up more where not everything is locked.
Is that still a meme that GameCube's very hard to emulate with Dolphin? Or is it like pretty smooth now?
The Dolphin emulator is really good.
Yeah.
It's mostly because the guy that is behind it is very, very specific. The PS2 is the one where it's impossible to emulate even now.
Huh.
Like it's still.
PS2 or 3?
I mean, PS3 is literally not possible. PS2 is getting better, but it's still not very good.
Wait, so are we at a point where GameCube is emulated better than N64?
Yes. Actually.
Peace. Hey, Ben, you might get this reference. It's from a little show I like to call Big Bang Theory. Poorly coded Nintendo 64 emulator. He's playing on a piano and he sings that song. See, for us nerds, we know that N64 emulators are poorly coded. Am I right?
I wonder if this boss is harder because when
Why would anyone write that in anything?
Isn't that amazing? Like, imagine how specific of a person you have to be to know that. And then also, you would be watching Big Bang Theory. Like, that just goes to show you that the people that watch that show are just like, he said funny words.
Yeah.
Which I'm not gonna lie, sometimes
nerd lingo.
Sometimes the stuff that Ash watches, because she likes all those over the top Dawson's. It's like the new form of Dawson's Creek kind of stuff. Sometimes I'm like, oh, they said stuff, and that's it. But literally, Trevor's right. It's It's like they said words. Oh, I know what an N64 is. Like that's it.
It's not
Beauregard.
funny. All of the humor, or rather, all of the positive feeling you're getting from like ingesting that media is, I recognize what they're saying.
I mean, it is
like the Family Guy effect.
It is factual. Like it is true, and it makes me wonder. Like their writing team, like kind of knows their stuff, but it's also
But they're
like
not funny.
they're also not funny, right?